Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Markets to Watch from Smack the Markets for week commencing the 27th of July. So as we start another week, we've got another light news day, but there are a few things that are going on in the background. Of course, we've got the coronavirus situation where we've had recent spikes in virus numbers in Spain and other parts of Europe. Second to that, I think, and the thing that the markets are focusing on most at the moment is the deteriorating situation between the US and China. So we've had the Chinese consulate or the US consulate close in China over the weekend. We've also had the Houston Chinese consulate close as well. Where that leads next is probably one of the things that's kept on the forefront of many traders' minds. We've also got the pending stimulus package, which is about to be announced as well. Now, as we understand, that's been signed off, it's been rubber stamped, it just hasn't been announced yet. But remember that stimulus does have quite an impact on the stock market, so it's not something to keep aware of. So let's take a look at a few markets here that we're keeping an eye on going into the beginning of the week and some of the opportunities that we're looking at. So if we take a look at the Dow here, first of all, we can see, if we take a look at this from the daily time frame, a couple of really sort of interesting points here is that the market has rejected off the 27 area here twice now, and price has now sort of come down. It's sort of broken the previous low here on the daily time frame. Now, that doesn't mean to say that the long trend here or the upward momentum here is finished completely, because the trend structure here on this market is not particularly hasn't got particularly nice geometry behind it anyway. So could we get another run to the long side, or is this now going to bail over to the short side? Remember, we've got that stimulus announcement likely to be later on, either today or early this week at least, and that may well, or certainly in the past, that has created quite a bit of uplift for US stocks. So if we take a look at this on the 4-hour time frame, we can see the two tests of that 27,000 a bit more clearly. I think we've got a couple of structure or a few structure points here in the charts that could be very useful for us for trading this market. I think to the long side, we've got 26,500 here, which is again, very strong level, very significant level on this market. If the price gets above this area, well, then we're certainly going to see a much more of a deeper retracement. The next level above that we've got is 26,600, and then above that, well, really we're looking back up to a retest of that 27,000. On the short side, however, if markets continue to decline, we've got 26,300, 26,200 to the short side, and then that 26,000. I think these levels, they've been tested so many times before, they've been so precisely tested as well. I think no reason to think that they wouldn't be useful to us to look for these trading windows, to look for trading opportunities in between these trading windows sort of going forward this time as well. So those are certainly the levels that we're looking at for trading these markets. Again, at the moment, it's very much intraday trading opportunities. We're not holding anything overnight on these. So if we come across to the commodities, well, the gold and silver have had a very strong run lately, and again last night they've had another strong run again. US dollar has again been continuing to decline, and the deterioration in the US and China relations certainly not helping the rush to some of these safe havens. I think sort of silver is probably one of the more cleaner markets here to consider trading compared to gold. Gold is a little bit more sort of challenging. But you can see here with silver, we've had the sort of sideways consolidation in here around that sort of $23 level, and then the sort of break above there. Now at the moment, if we just come and have a look at this from a real higher time frame perspective, we can see that the market has completely sort of broken out of this sort of range. It's really getting into sort of clear space here, so having to zoom right the way out, 25,000 I think is probably the next structure point here, which we're looking at the moment. Above here, well, the next sort of structure point we've got up here is around that sort of 30 level. So I won't be at all surprised if we start to get some kind of sort of move up here towards that sort of $30 price mark here in silver. Now, the challenge really with these markets is not at the direction that they're going or perhaps where they're going to, but the timing of getting entries into them. Now, certainly at the moment, the market's looking quite extended. It's had a very good strong run. So we'd be looking for buying opportunities on pullbacks and just keeping an eye on these and looking for those opportunities. Now, if we come over to the currency markets, again, trying to move beyond some of the obvious dollar-related markets, where a lot of those markets, like the majors, are all looking rather extended at the moment, but also moving clearly in one direction. One of the other ones here that we're liking is Euro CAD. Now, Euro CAD here, if we just take a look at this from the weekly chart, this one's been on our radar here for quite some time in the trading room. We've been looking at this sort of consolidation around the 152 level. Now the market's sort of broken to the long side. We've been looking at opportunities to trade this long, and we've certainly taken advantage of correlated moves on this. So price is now above that 156 area, so it's just sort of broken out above this level on the weekly chart. There doesn't look to be an awful lot of structure in the way for a continuation to the long side, which is one of the things that's a little bit attractive about this this currency market, particularly one of the euros. So come down to some of these lower time frames, we can see that we've got relatively good structure in the market at the moment. Some sort of pullback into levels, pullbacks into potential sort of turning points or into support levels like this 156 sort of price point could be nice areas for turning points and positioning points for the next leg of the move higher. So we're liking EuroCAD, keeping an eye on this one going into the beginning of this week, and looking for opportunities to get positioned. So there's a few markets there that we're keeping a close eye on in the trading room going into the beginning of this week. I certainly hope it helps and look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye for now.